I think the milestones are much more common on contracts, and certainly contracts, mostly non-federal contracts as well. But one of the big challenges is the central post-award office knowing when the milestone has been reached and when the invoice can be sent out. There's certainly no problem if you know the milestone is just a point in time, so after 6 months you can send the invoice. But if it's dependent on a technical milestone of the project, how is that going to be communicated? And that's the type of thing that really needs to be discussed very early on in the project rather than waiting till later on to make sure it is practical. And then from the post-award perspective, we're always looking at the cash flow as well, as you were alluding to, Pat. Are we going to have to spend or advance ourselves a lot of money before we can actually go ahead and collect from the sponsor? And if it's a corporate sponsor or a for-profit sponsor, is that really fair, or should we be having them advance us funds to do the work?
This is really
Linda.
to get your faculty involved. The
Mm-hmm.
faculty are going to understand the milestones and how much it's going to cost to get to each milestone pre-award. When we're setting up the account, they're going to know if these dollars are really going to make sense, and they're going to know when the milestones are done. You're not going to know that until they tell you. So especially if it's based on effort and not on timing. So it's important whenever you're dealing with these non-federal sources to make sure that the department person and the faculty member have a very good understanding of who tells who what, when, and where, and why. Glenda, I have completed milestone number 1 on this project, and this is about how much it's going to cost me, or this is what it did cost us, and it's time to invoice. So they then contact me, and then I in turn contact the central office. And we have the documentation so that if there's a question about whether that milestone was completed, I've got the documentation that says, yes, it is. Here you go. And I
So,
usually send the report with my email to the sponsored uh, project's office so that they can send that report with the invoice.